We need you, Gara.
If you're a student in India right now, you're probably hearing a ton about AI. And maybe it's exciting, but maybe it's also a little terrifying. You're working so hard for your future, but it feels like the rules of the game are literally changing right under your feet. Well, this explainer, this is your roadmap to navigate all that change. Let's get right into it. So let's just start with the big question, the one that's probably on your mind. You're studying for your boards, for JEE, for NEET, for UPSC, but is all that incredible hard work actually preparing you for the jobs of tomorrow or the jobs of yesterday? It's a tough question for sure, but it's one we absolutely have to face. 83 million. Just look at that number. According to the World Economic Forum, that's how many jobs AI and automation are expected to displace globally by 2027. And that's not some far-off distant future. That's practically tomorrow. Now, this doesn't mean a future with no jobs, not at all. It just means a future where the jobs are going to be fundamentally different, and where the real challenge isn't just getting a degree, it's building the right skills.
Which brings us to our very first section. We have to rethink education. The old rules, they just don't apply anymore. You know, for generations, the path was so simple. School, degree, job. That path is kind of broken now. But here's the good news. This disruption, it gives you the power to write the new rules for your own career.
Okay, so here's problem number one. I call it the widening chasm. There's this huge growing gap between what a lot of colleges teach and what the industry actually needs. I mean, think about it. One report found that less than half of Indian graduates are considered job ready. Recruiters aren't just looking at your degree anymore. Like the slide says, they want to know what you can do. Your projects, your actual skills, that's becoming way more valuable than just a piece of paper. So how do you bridge this gap? Easy. You start building your own modern skill stack right now, alongside your regular studies. Adopt what I call the self-starter way. You learn a concept, and then you immediately apply it. Build something with it. Use these amazing global platforms like Coursera and edX, or even India's own NPTL from the IITs. And as you learn, you earn micro-credentials. Trust me, these are your new currents.
And please do not underestimate the power of these things. This isn't some small trend. A recent Coursera report found that in India, a staggering 97% of employers are willing to offer a higher starting salary to someone with a micro-credential. 95% are more likely to hire someone with a certificate in a field like generative AI. The takeaway here is so clear. A few months of focused online learning can give you a massive, massive edge.
Now this brings us to problem number two, and this one's a biggie, especially if you're deep in competitive exam prep. All that intense focus on rote memorization, on speed solving for tests like IITJ and NEET, it's kind of training you to be a perfect biological computer. The only problem? AI is an infinitely better, faster, more perfect computer. So the very skills that exams sometimes push to the side, like creativity, critical thinking, originality, those are precisely the skills that are becoming priceless. The solution isn't to just stop preparing for your exams. No way. It's about integrating deeper thinking into your prep. If you're studying for JEE or NEET, don't just memorize a formula. Ask why it works. Try to solve a single problem in two totally different ways. For you UPSC aspirants, actively link topics across different papers. And hey, use AI tools like ChatGPT not for the answers, but as a sparring partner. Ask it to argue the opposite side of an issue, just to sharpen your own thinking. All right, section 2, winning the new job game. I mean, how do you actually get hired? All this new learning is great, but it has to lead to a job, right? The challenge is the old career ladder is changing. And for a lot of people, that very first step, it's just vanishing. So how do you even start your career when the starting line itself has moved? And this is problem number 3, what I call the experience catch-22. You've heard it a million times. You can't get a job without experience, but the entry-level jobs that used to give you that experience, well, they're being automated by AI. All that routine grunt work that freshers used to do, you know, basic coding, data entry, report generation, it's disappearing. It's a super frustrating loop that can feel totally impossible to break.
The answer is to stop thinking about a resume and start thinking about a portfolio.
A portfolio is your personal collection of projects. It is tangible, undeniable proof of your skills. So when a recruiter asks for experience, you don't just talk about it, you show it. Your projects, they become your experience. It's a total game changer. And building one is way more straightforward than you think. First, get your code up on GitHub. That's the industry standard, period. Then, create a simple portfolio site. For every project, frame it like a mini case study. What was the problem? What was my process? What was the outcome? And finally, write about your work on platforms like LinkedIn or Medium. This doesn't just prove you have tech skills, it proves you can communicate, solve problems, and that you're passionate about what you do. This brings us to the next problem, the I-shaped trap. For years, the goal was to be an I-shaped specialist, having super deep expertise in one very narrow area. The risk today is that a single narrow skill can be automated away. The future belongs to the T-shaped professional. You still have that deep expertise, that's the vertical bar of the T, but you add a broad set of skills across the top. Things like communication, business basics, tech literacy. This combo makes you adaptable, a great team player, and incredibly valuable.
All right, Section 3, Bridging the Divide. Now, everything we've talked about so far kind of assumes you have easy access to a computer and fast internet. But what if you don't? This section is for you. Let's tackle the digital divide head on, because even with limited resources, you have way more power than you think.
And this is the fifth and final problem we really need to confront, the digital divide. It is a harsh reality. As this chart shows, a shocking 87% of young people in South Asia do not have internet access at home. This isn't about convenience. This is about access to the fundamental tools you need for a future-proof career. We have to acknowledge this gap if we're going to find real solutions. The solution here is to get resourceful and get strategic. Look into government programs like PMGDSHF for digital literacy or the new SOAR initiative for AI skills. And use your smartphone. It is so powerful. Apps like SoloLearn let you learn to code in short bursts, even when you're offline. You can even train simple AI models right there on your phone with tools like Google's Teachable Machine. And don't forget to connect with local NGOs that provide training and support.
Okay, we've covered the challenges, we've covered the strategies. Now for the most important part, your personal action plan. Let's pull everything together into a simple, clear roadmap that you can start using like today.
First up, the skills you need. On the technical side, Python, data analysis, and prompt engineering are pretty much non-negotiable at this point. But equally important, maybe even more important, are the human skills that AI just can't replicate. Real critical thinking, true creativity, and storytelling. The ability to explain your work and your data in a way that actually persuades and inspires people. Next, your mindset. Think of this as your personal operating system. You got to adopt a growth mindset. Believe that your skills can be developed. They aren't fixed. You have to become a lifelong learner. Your education doesn't stop. Cultivate an active curiosity. Always be asking why. And most importantly, take proactive agency. Stop being just a passenger in your own education. You need to be the CEO of your career. And to make time for what's truly important, you have to stop doing what isn't. So here is your official stop doing list. Stop passive consumption and mindless scrolling. Stop pure rote memorization without understanding the why. Stop just collecting certificates if you're not building projects to back them up. And stop studying in silos. Always look for the connections between subjects.
I can almost hear you thinking it right now. This is all great, but I have school, I have coaching classes, I have homework. How on earth am I supposed to find the time for all this? And that is the most practical question of all, so it deserves a really practical answer.
The answer isn't about finding more time. It's about being smarter with the time you already have. It's all about consistency. So take a screenshot of this schedule. This entire plan takes just 8 hours a week. That's it. A couple of hours on the weekend for that deep, focused work, and then just a few small, focused blocks during the week. This is manageable. This is sustainable. And over a year, this level of consistency will make you absolutely formidable.
You see, the story of AI isn't about humans versus machines. It's about humans with machines. Your future isn't something that's going to be automated away from you. It's something you have to design. You have to build it, skill by skill, project by project. The tools are here. The roadmap is clear. Your future is not automated.
It's architected. So go on, start building.